Is forgetting appointments and losing keys just getting older, or the first sign of dementia? Memory loss is one of the scariest things about getting older, and as a GP, I've seen patients and their families worry endlessly about potentially having dementia, panicking over little things that are nothing to worry about, whilst ignoring subtle warning signs that really matter. So stick with me today, and I'll show you how to tell the difference between normal aging and dementia, and the proven ways to protect your memory for years to come. Before we get into what's normal and what's dementia, let's have a quick look at the brain itself. A bit visceral, sorry, but here's an image of a healthy adult brain, and it looks normal. But when you compare it to this, the difference becomes obvious. This is a brain affected by dementia, and you see those changes, the shrinkage, the gaps where tissue is lost. It has a huge impact on how someone thinks, remembers, and lives day to day. But it's not all about the shape that it looks like on a scan, it's more about what's going on deeper inside. Think of your brain like a library, shelves of neatly organized books. And when you get older, some books will get dusty and the words might start to fade. It might take you a bit longer to find the right page or read the word, but in the end, you get there. That's normal aging. In dementia, it's different. Some of the books are missing some pages, or maybe even a couple of books are missing. And at the start, you might not even notice that. I find that little metaphor useful for explaining the difference, but now let's make it a little bit more concrete and compare them side by side. Getting old, you'll make the odd bad decision like taking the wrong turn on a walk, paying your bill late. Annoying, but no big deal. In dementia, it's bigger, more important, and happens more often. So, money, not paying bills at all, big day-to-day decisions. It's normal to forget the time and date sometimes, but a quick glance at the clock or a calendar and you're back on track. In dementia, you lose track of dates, seasons, appointments, and often reminders and calendars aren't enough to bring you back on track. We all have that tip of the tongue moment where we just can't find that word to use, but eventually it comes back to us. We find it and we move on. In dementia, some of those books and pages are missing examples, so you may find that words are missing from sentences and the person may not even realize it. Sentences become more jumbled up and the conversation becomes harder to follow. Everybody misplaces things like their keys from time to time, and it might take you a while, but if you retrace your steps, eventually you'll find them. In dementia, it's like those keys just vanished into thin air, and hints and retracing your steps may not be enough to track them down. For everyone as they get older, learning gets more difficult, but repetition, and eventually it sticks. With dementia, new memories often don't stick at all, and people with dementia often tell the same stories and say the same thing again and again and again, not knowing that they've already said it. In normal aging, you know where you are and you know who's around you. You might make the odd slip up with the date or the day or the time, or you might even get someone's name wrong, but you know that you've messed up and you can fix it and move on. In dementia, places that should be familiar now seem strange, and it can become more difficult to recognize those familiar faces you used to be able to. Most of us know when we've forgotten about it, and we might even laugh about it. But with dementia, a lot of people don't even realize that they're forgetting things, and it's family or friends who point it out. In short, getting older means slowing down, occasionally forgetting, but bouncing back. But if the second set of symptoms seem to resonate with you more, probably should go see your doctor. Speaking of memory, before I forget, I have a new newsletter called 3 Apples, which you can join for free using the link at the top of the description box below. But now let's get to the good news. Even if dementia does feel scary, the truth is, up to a whopping 50% of cases are preventable by addressing key lifestyle factors. So here's how. Let's start with movement. Now think of your brain like a garden. If you water it and give it sunlight, it will thrive. But if you abandon and ignore it, the weeds will start to creep in. So even just a brisk walk a few times a week helps your brain bloom, improves blood flow, clears toxins, keeps those memory pathways nice and healthy. The next one is really important, mental challenges. Think of your brain like a muscle. It has to be stretched and exercised. And with challenges over time, it becomes stronger. So try something new, a crossword, an instrument, picking up a hobby you've never tried. Even something small like walking on a different route, brushing your teeth with the other hand, it just shakes up those pathways and you start to build new bridges without even knowing it. And here's something that's overlooked every single time: staying socially connected. Isolation is one of the sneakiest ways your memory can slip. So chat with friends, join a class, volunteer. These conversations are like mental yoga for your brain, and you can't replace it with screens, televisions, and computers. Food is important too. Treat your brain like a high-performing engine. It has to have good quality fuel. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, olive oil, nuts, that's premium fuel for your brain. Sugar, processed food, alcohol, that's like putting sand in the tank, and over time, the engine will run less smoothly. Finally, something that surprises everyone I tell them: a vaccine. Yep, a vaccine. There is a vaccine which has proof that it lowers the chances of getting dementia. Have a look at this video here to find out a bit about it. Thanks for watching. I hope it was useful, and maybe I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.